Welcome, Deviant Drivers, to another episode of A Drink with a Driver. We're celebrating 4th of July this week, and I have a guest with me, co-host. It's not Junkai. He's on vacation again for the fifth time this year. Probably got a couple more planned. But at any rate, we're joined by Nismo. Here he is. Nismo, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're going to co-host up with us this time since Junkai is
Yeah,
absent.
yeah, thank you for having me. I'm back from vacation. Jukan is on vacation, so we switch each other off. So
Everybody's
yeah,
on vacation.
yeah,
Great. Well, welcome. Thank you for co-hosting with us. And this is your first appearance on A Drink with a Driver. So, as is typical, we do interview questions. I know you were on a trip, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later on, that you did through to Spa and kind of like a European trip. You kind of went
yeah.
everywhere, but we'll talk about that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of where you got started sim racing, how long you've been doing it, that type of thing.
Okay, okay. I do want to apologize in front. My English is not the best, so I'm gonna butcher the English language. So bear with me, but I'm gonna try my best. Yeah, it's not that long ago that I started, that got into sim racing. I think with the release of PlayStation 5. So that's 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Mhm.
So PlayStation 5 was my first console after a really long time. The last one was PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then I switched to PC gaming and mostly shooters, mostly Counter-Strike. And we're talking about the mid 2000s, early 2010s. I played exclusively on PC. So with the release of PlayStation 5, I thought, let's do it again. Let's buy the PlayStation 5. I bought it for primarily for FIFA soccer games, really popular in Europe. And then I think with the release of GT7, I bought GT Sport first. Then after a couple of weeks later, GT7 was released. So I also bought that. Then I got really into the Gran Turismo 7 racing. I bought a Real Stand Pro. You're gonna see the picture of my sim rig now. I bought the Logitech 9, what is it? G953 or something.
Is that the force
Uh,
feedback model with
yeah,
the with
yeah.
the with the direct drive or which one is that? It's a little higher end
Um,
than the typical one, correct?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I think with the force feedback,
Yeah.
not with the force feedback, but with the Logitech has some kind of feedback thing you can turn on in ACC, for example, or GT7 also has it. Gives some tactile feedback. So yeah, so I bought the Logitech wheel. It was making a lot of noise. I couldn't play it in overnight because my girlfriend wanted to sleep. So I sold it and bought a second-hand Trustmaster, the 300. I played for a couple of months. Then I thought it's too weak and I wanted something better. I read everything about direct drive and the Fanatec stuff. So then I switched to Fanatec and then I bought the PSVR too. So I didn't have a monitor, I didn't have a TV. So I put only the headset on and I played Gran Turismo 7 or any other games I played in the headset in the flat screen mode. So after I joined the league, I think the first season I was playing in PSVR 2, but then with all the strategies and I had to remember a lot of things. So I bought a monitor and a monitor stand and and then went to the monitor. And I have in my office, I have two screens. So when we have the league races, I have the cheat sheet on the second monitor, and I'm driving on the
Yeah,
primary
there's a
monitor.
couple guys that have tried the VR, and it seems like it would be really, really interesting and fun to do it that way. But it with what we do with the racing and the
Yeah.
strategies and everything, it is kind of difficult because, as I understand it, there's not a lot of the information that typically you find up in the corners of your screen is not there in the VR, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And that's not the biggest problem of the VR thing, but the whole strategy thing for the racers when we are going to pit and all that stuff. I think the first season I made so many mistakes. I made and every mistake I could make. The missing the pitting on the not pit lap and the safety car lap, and not having enough fuel, and every mistake I made in the first season.
So you're running a Fanatec, you're running the DD Pro, correct, right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. Gotcha. And you've pretty much, I mean, you've run through about all the equipment. You had Logitech, and then you went Thrustmaster, and now Fanatec. So you've
Yeah,
tried them all.
yeah,
So
yeah, and it was in 1 year. So I bought the Logitech, I think 2 months after GT7 released, maybe June or something. After 2 months, I switched to the Trustmaster, and after 2 months, again 3 months, I switched to the Fanatec. And yeah, I tried them all, and I think it was better if I bought the Fanatec first. But
yeah, they are they do make a pretty big difference. It's quite a leap over well, especially a Logitech, but even over a Thrustmaster, it's the next step. Um so yeah, so we talked about your equipment. What is your favorite or least favorite track within GT7?
the favorite is Spa. So I think Jonkai's favorite is also Spa, right?
He favors it, yeah.
Yeah, many people like Spa. So I have the Spa's favorite, but I don't really have the least favorite. I think I like most tracks that are based on real tracks.
Mhm.
So I like those most. And the fantasy tracks, it's because we have it in the league, I race, and maybe in the daily races. But I like to have something I can watch in real life and then drive on it.
I agree. Pretty much anything that's a real track, I like it.
Yeah,
I've got my favorites and least favorites, but the fantasy tracks, everybody was really excited when Grand Valley came back because that was going to be a original fantasy track from
yeah,
the first game. But I didn't really find I like the setup of the first one, the way it was kind of more of a circuit as opposed to Highway 1 or something through California. Um, didn't really do much for me, but I hear they're coming out with a new one. There's been some debate in the Discord about a new track release. I think they were talking about maybe Montreal, was it? I think.
yeah, yeah. I think Glovis has some inside information.
Yeah.
He's really sure that it's going to be the Canadian track.
We shall see. So what do you drive in real life? What kind of car do you drive or truck?
I have the Mercedes A class, the 180. Not the newest model, it's the model of the 2012 to till 2018. So that model, and I think from 2019 they have a new model. So I have a small car. Yeah.
Yeah, in the States, we don't see many of the A classes. I don't even know. I'm not sure if they even import the A class to North America. I'm not sure because I know they make an A class like an AMG model, don't they?
Yeah, the one that is in Gran Turismo right now in Gran Turismo 7, I have that car. So I have the car in the game, and I have put the same color on it, and it's exactly the same. But that one is AMG, mine is not AMG. So
I think everybody, if they own the car that Gran Turismo has, they have the exact or as close as they can get to the exact car that they have. That's pretty cool. So speaking of cars in real life, what if you had your dream garage and unlimited funds, what would be the three cars would be in your garage?
the first one would be the Porsche GT3, the new one, the RS, I think, is also released in the game. I really like that car. I like the Lamborghini Huracan.
Okay.
That's a really nice car. And I think for third, because also of the race I saw at Spa, the Ford Mustang, that one
Okay.
is nice.
Okay. Yeah, like the Shelby or the Shelby GT 500.
Yes, yeah. I saw many of those at the track. I don't know why, but the whole train was full of the Ford. Really nice car to see.
It's interesting in discussions that I've had with different drivers in the league. Besso comes to mind on certain occasions. Is the differences between Europe and North America? The cars that we see. I mean, there's you can't throw a rock without hitting a Mustang in North America, but you really don't see many of them in Europe. Same goes with Corvettes. And then over here there's cars that we never see because maybe they're not imported for whatever reason, but you guys see them all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting the differences in what models and which continents get what.
Yeah, exactly. So the Mustang, I don't know what kind of thing it was at the track, but maybe because the Mustang was for the first time racing in Europe. I don't know if it's the first time or not, but maybe because of that, there were lots of the road car Mustangs there to show. So it was quite nice, and we don't see that often here on the road. So it was quite nice. And I have also sent you a clip of the Mustang. The sound that it makes, the GT3 car, it's crazy.
Well, I've always been in over here. It's Corvettes, Camaros, Mustangs are kind of the performance cars of North America, I guess, one way to put it. But I've always been kind of a Chevy guy. I had Camaros and I had Corvettes, and but I've always thought that the Mustangs sounded better than the GMs. I mean, they just have a sound that is brutal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. For example, the Aston Martin and the AMG GT3 cars have a really nice sound.
Yep.
The Mustang has the same kind of sound, but 10 times louder. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your trip, let's get into your trip. You basically did kind of a tour of Europe, and so tell us about your road trip because you kind of hit everything, and tell us about some of that.
Yeah, so we did a road trip through Europe. We wanted to go to Italy, so we had I think 4 hour trip to Germany. We stayed a night there. Then we had another 6 hour trip to Italy, in the northern Italy, in Verona, I think was our first stop in Italy.
Mhm.
We stayed there for 2 nights, really beautiful city. Then we went to 2 hour trip to a really nice place. I think we can put a picture on the screen. Really sunny, really beautiful. We stayed there for 1 whole week. And I actually asked my girlfriend to marry me there.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah. But I picked a really nice place and I asked her. So yeah, we had a great week there, and then we went to a little bit northern of Italy. We stayed also there for a week. close to Torino. Really beautiful city also. And then we went, it was the end of the trip. We went to France for an overnight stay because otherwise the trip from Italy to Belgium would be too long. So we stayed there for a night and then we went to Spa. We arrived at Friday night. I think the whole week it was open from Wednesday to Sunday. So there were races and other races, GT4 races, some legendary or heritage car races.
I want to point out to all the other drivers, especially some of the younger drivers that are in the league, uh, pay attention to just how this gentleman did it. He did it just right. He takes her to coastal Italy before he takes her to the racetrack. That is how you do it, not the other way around.
And you know what she told me? She told me if you want to next time if you want to go to Spa, we can do it. So for the
Awesome.
next time,
So she enjoyed it.
yeah, really, she really likes it also. But I think she mostly likes it because she sees me. I'm enjoying the whole event, and she said that to me. So
Good.
and we did a whole long trip, a 6 hour drive, 7 hour drive, and the drive from our house to Spa is 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
So now in that context, she thinks, oh, it's not a long drive. So if there's another race, we can always go.
That's
Yeah.
awesome to
Because
live so close to such a iconic racetrack. That's neat.
yeah, Netherlands is kind of small. So if you have to take a 1 hour drive, it's too long for us. So 2.5 hours drive is really long. We don't do that often. But now after the 7 hour drive, she thought, okay, 2.5 hour drive is not too much. We can do it more.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So we're gonna throw some pictures up. So just kind of tell us what some of the memorable things that you remember from the race, and just kind of tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah. So we arrived Friday night, and there was a track walk on 10 p.m. So we went there on 9 p.m. There was a GT4 race going on, so we watched that a little bit. Also, really nice cars, really close racing in GT4, more than GT3. So it was nice to see. Then they opened the track, and we could go to the pits, and we could walk the whole track. So you could go walk the whole 7 kilometers, but we didn't do that. We stayed at the chicane. We were really tired because of our trip. So we went to the chicane. We went to the pit road, and we looked at some cars. Aston Martin. We saw some guys fixing the Aston Martin car. The AMG. So also really lots of other cars, but it was really nice.
It's really neat when you can get that close to the in the pits and see what they're doing. I remember it was probably close to 20 years ago. I went to Daytona Rolex 24, and same idea. You had to pit passes and everything, and you could be, I mean, within 5 or 6 feet of them working and seeing. As it was just like watching it on TV with the camera guy, right in there, but it was you. You were right there. And the one thing I remember more than anything was when they'd pull in to do, whatever, brake change or whatever they were doing. And they bring this car just through where there's crowds of people walking in, and it's on you to keep your head on a swivel to not get hit. Because they're coming in, and then when they're coming out, same thing. Like they're like, get out of the way and you better move, because they're coming out and they're headed straight to the track, and they're not doing 10 miles an hour. They're moving.
Yeah, it was the same. When they opened the pit stop, the GT4 cars were still there. So the pit stop were full. The GT3 cars were already there, so the GT4 cars were outside. So when they opened the pit stop for public, the GT4 cars had to go outside the track. So when we were there, they were driving like next to us. You could touch the car and
That's
yeah,
neat.
funny.
That's awesome. Who won the race? Do you know what manufacturer won the GT3 there?
Yeah, the Aston Martin.
Aston.
Yeah, Aston Martin won the race, and it was a really strange race because the Ferrari was leading the race, and there was a Lamborghini ran out of fuel in the pit. How do you call it? The entrance of the pit lane. So the Ferrari was leading the race after 23 hours. Then he went to a pit stop. Then there was another car in front of him, and they had to pull away the car, the Lamborghini. So he had to give his number one spot away. Then the Aston Martin won the race. It was a really crazy race.
It's always amazing these 24-hour races, how over that period of time, as long as it is, whether it's Nürburgring, Spa, Daytona, whatever, that over a 24-hour period, invariably it always gets down to very close at the end, within minutes or even seconds in some cases. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy, and you have to watch the race. It's really nice.
Yeah, we'll we've been put some clips up here and some photos of it because I know there was a lot of interest within the Discord of your trip. A lot of people, that's a dream trip to go to Spa, and you're 2 hours away, so everybody was super interested to hear about your trip and see some of the photos and everything. So really appreciate you sharing that with us. That's really cool. So about GT3, our GT3, um, you're a reserve driver for GT3. You won and took fastest lap on the second round two at Trial Mountain. And so tell us a little bit, tell us about what, you thought about that race in particular, since that was the one you competed in and won, dominated.
Yeah, so I kind of made the switch to ACC. I bought a PC recently, so I'm mostly on PC playing ACC and not GT7 a lot anymore. So, but Glovis asked me if I could take his spot for the race. I said okay. So last couple of days before the race, I went practicing and everything, and the car they have is really good. So it's a really nice car. Handles very great. But I didn't think I would take the first spot. I asked Besso, "Hey, is my time good?" He said yes, but it's fine. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm gonna end 10th or something. But during the race, I saw I was lots of faster than. So I had in the start of the race, I had some accidents. So I dropped back in the pack. So but then I saw I'm coming closer and closer to the pack, and I thought, how's that possible? So actually the car was really nice, and I
That was
think,
a Corvette, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think it was a great race. It was my first win, so
Well, that's a good way to do it. Take fastest lap and a win. That's a dominating way to go. This past weekend we ran I'll say it Alsace, that way Anatole doesn't correct me 75 times in the Discord, but we ran it in reverse, which is a direction I'm not sure I've ever driven it in reverse. and so it was a bit different because turn one was the little S's that go up the hill. So it was really pretty crazy. We got through there and managed to get through there okay, but it was a bit different. It was almost like not a slower version of Monza turn one going up the hill. So that helped a little bit, but and then of course at night too. So I don't know that I've ever driven Alsace at night. It was an interesting race for sure.
Yeah.
And so GT3 and GT4, I think the continuing problem for this season for a lot of drivers has been gas. There's been every race, there's been guys running out of gas with the fuel changes and everything. So it's kind of like that Lamborghini at Spa.
Yeah.
It's
It
it
has in real life too, so
keeps keeps messing with everybody. So um, well, let's run through the leaderboard where we stand right now in GT3. Zen has catapulted himself to the top with his win at Alsace. He pretty much dominated there. So he had a great day, and so he with that win he catapulted himself to first podium spot overall with 46 points. Great finishes the last three races. He's off to kind of a slow start there at Autopolis in the rain, but since then he's been that 4C's been doing excellent for him. Second is me. He knocked me off knocked me off the top with his win this past weekend. I am second with 38. Besso is closing in on me with 36. So I know he's trying to get past me. Bathurst will be interesting. I'm not sure how that'll work out. But fourth is Floody with 34 points, so he's right up there as well. Dirksey with 32. Dirksey is interesting. Was going into the race, he was just above the cut line, and he was like, "I just want to be out of relegation," and then turns a second place finish out of at Autopolis or at Alsace, and took fastest lap as well. So with 32 points, so he's now fifth. So he went quite a bit, quite a bit changes. Tied with Glovis, who is also with 32 points. And then there's Junkai in seventh. We've never seen him that far below. He talks about the Lamborghini. What are your thoughts on that car?
I really like the Lamborghini and the Audi. I really like those to drive, but they're not the fastest. So
He's saying he's going to have tons of problems at Bathurst. So we'll see. He is setting at seventh with 28 points. Below him is Camzilla at 27. Then Preston with 26. Berman with 25. Chaotica just above the relegation line with 24. And then under relegation currently is Bad Rock and Texas Speed with 20 and 18 respectively. Do you think you're gonna maybe sub for somebody at Bathurst? Is that a track you like or dislike?
I don't like that's my least favorite track. Yeah. So if they're gonna
Perfect.
ask me to fill in, I don't. Maybe I'm gonna call in sick. But it's great to see Zen doing really well. I think he had some trouble last season with his new wheel, but it's great to see him on top.
He's figured it out. I tell you, he put the practice in and you know, great finishes this year. He's really putting the points up there. Um, and so let's talk about GT4. GT4 with the point standings where they are. We have on top is Hyphy Honda. He is with 61 points. He did have a win at Alsace as well. That's his third win of the season. So he's quite dominating. Looks at this point for GT4, looks like he's in good shape to move up to GT3 next season. Followed by Huge Jar with 49 and T Deeds still chasing for that victory. He's got what has he got? He's got 3 second place finishes. So he's right there, just about ready to get his first win. He's got 45 points above the promotion line right now. Rutaz, who's in the Corvette GT4, is 30 points, followed by Saito with 28, tied with Lalo with also 28. And then moving, Anatole is 7th with 27 points, followed by Thrasher. Thrasher's always in there with 26. Sully with 22. Kuraskai, who's always talking about himself being at the back, and always he used to talk about being, last place is my place. Not anymore. He's sitting with 18 points at 10th. Arcane with 17 points, followed by Devon in 12th with 16, and then Silo with 9, and Golden Oracle with 2. Golden Oracle's been out with an injury. He was hurt in a mountain biking accident. He did some kind of jump and obliterated his bike and apparently his back as well. So hopefully he's getting better and will be back in the race. So Bathurst is going to be interesting. That's a 12-hour race in real life, which we're going to be replicating the same thing. So it'll be a night to day type of race. I don't know if that's I don't know if anybody's ever been to Bathurst. That's Australia is like a long way away from everybody.
Yeah, it was nice to go there, but
It would
too
be
far.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is where all the standings are setting right now. Teams are Alfa Romeo in first with 135 points, with pretty good gap over Team Ferrari, setting at second with 100 points, followed by Team Chevrolet Corvette with 98. That's a pretty close race. They might be able to get up to second. It's hard to tell. I don't know how the Ferrari is going to do. Junkai said the MR cars are going to struggle at Bathurst going down the hill. So we'll see. Team Jaguar in fourth with 97. Lamborghini, he talks about the car, Junkai, all the time. He's still holding on to fifth place is his team with 82 points. Team Peugeot with 78, followed by Renault with 72. So out of the cars that we have this season, are there any of these that you really like or you've driven, other than you said you like the Lamborghini? Was there any others that you really liked or disliked particular?
So yeah, the Lamborghini and the Audi. I think the Audi was last season was not a favorite car. But those two are the ones I really like to drive in GT7, also in all other games. I really like the inside interior of the cars.
Do you
But
prefer the MR cars over the FR cars?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are not the fastest, so that's but yeah, I think the Ferrari and the Chevrolet are great cars. I think also nice to drive.
The
I
Ferrari
think
is it's an interesting one. It can get loose somewhat easy, but it sounds so good. It might be the best sounding one in the game anyway. Just listening to that Ferrari go, it's an awesome sound, and it is fast. But I know in some of our testing earlier in the season, we were kind of encountering that it can certainly get off balance kind of quickly. Going especially downhill or in through turns or whatnot. But we'll see how the guys do at Bathurst. It should be interesting coming down the hill, especially on lap one. Everybody all grouped together. So it'll make for some good video at any rate. Talking about Sunday Cup, you don't really drive the Sunday Cup. Have you competed in Sunday Cup in the past?
I didn't. No,
No.
no.
Are you not into the tuning aspect of GT7?
No, not really. But I tried to. I think I have the GT3 races on ACC, but I'm looking to have the road car races on GT7. So I was looking at the GR Cup. I think I'm not yet sure because I'm really slow in those cars. but I try to practice a little bit. Maybe I'm gonna sign up for that cup, but because I'm mostly fast in GT3 cars, I only do those races. But I really like the other cars, the feeling, the steering. So, but I'm really slow.
Yeah, the Sunday Cup, if you know, tuning's a tough aspect within the game. People that get it really get it. Those that don't. It's kind of temperamental and it takes some time. Sometimes it takes more time than honestly folks have. Usually I just get a car and I just show up and I have no idea. I've done no testing, no setup or anything. Just come there and just see how it goes. We've got the Clubman Cup, the second round of the Clubman Cup this weekend, which is going to be the 550, which is we're starting at Kyoto, Yamagawa in reverse, then Goodwood, and then Daytona Road Course. So these cars are pre-1980, so 79 and earlier. With this one can be tuned to 550 pp. So that will be this weekend's race. And currently in the Sunday Cup, Besso is leading. He's had a ton of fastest laps. What did he get? One, two, three. I mean, he's had a ton. He's like five or something. With 158 points, followed by Chaotica with 137. Myself rounding out the third at 116. Glovis is setting with 100 points. Dirksey in fifth with 88, followed by Thrasher, 84. Rutaz in seventh with 68. Preston, 67. Saito is ninth with 52. Berman, rounding out our top 10 with 40. And then Huge Jar 22 and Bad Rock 5. Bad Rock's only driven in one race this season, so I'm not sure if he'll do the Clubman. I don't remember if he did the first one or not, but he might. So that is what's coming up this weekend. So do you think you'll do another GT3 race this season? We've got Bathurst, St. Croix, and then Nürburgring. Is Nürburgring a favorite track of yours or not really?
Yeah, I like the track. Yeah,
Yeah,
so maybe that
that,
race I will
that'd be a good
some.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sub for some one of the drivers, right?
yeah. So yeah.
So when you do ACC, are you running mostly in PC?
Yeah, so I bought a PC recently, I think a couple of months ago, and I bought it. I also played ACC on PlayStation 5. I was in a league, but I wanted to have the daily races, the LFM kind of style. So that's why I bought a PC. Also, the graphics are better. I finally tuned everything. So first I wasn't happy with the graphics, but you had to tune a little bit of the settings. So yeah, I play LFM so I can through the league, and I was joining our league. So and also the ACC league, it was too much for me. So I thought I want to stay in the day in our league and maybe cut off the other league, ACC, and then I can do LFM races when I want. So that was the primary reason to,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done some ACC on the PC, and it is the graphics are better. The feedback through the DD Pro is completely different on PC versus PS5. I mean, there's so much more feedback through it on the PC that you do not get with the PS5. It's amazing. Feels like a completely different wheel. But ACC on PC is a much better experience than ACC on PS5. So plus you have the option for triple screens, which you can do with PC, which you can't do with PS5, which be nice if they could, if they would do that, but I don't think PD is going to be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, so we bought a house recently. So it's not ready yet. So it's ready at the end of 2025, so next year. So we live in a a kind of small apartment here. And my rig is really, I mean, with the camping chair. So I think I really like your rig and Bedrock. You guys really have a nice rig. So I think I also gonna, when we move to our new house, have a triple screen setup and with a real, how do you call it, 80 20 40 or sim rig?
Oh, the aluminum profile.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way to go. Especially if you're doing a permanent setup like that. So best cost, but strong, totally customizable, everything. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. Um, yeah, that will be fun. It's one of those things once you start building it, it's like you keep adding things on and on. You never get done with it.
yeah, exactly. So I will have my own office room bigger than what I have now. So I'm gonna go all in with the triple screen and everything. Maybe motion. I don't know. Do you guys have motion rigs or Bedrock?
I don't think Bad Rock does. I don't know if anybody has motion. It would be really neat. I know it's super expensive,
Yeah,
at least over here to get the motion settings. I know it's rated for motion. You can certainly put it on a motion platform.
yeah.
It'd be cool. I think that would certainly add to the immersion for sure. Uh, to go that route. That would be cool. You have to send us a picture of it once you get it done.
Yes, I will. Gonna be a long time, but year and a half maybe to till the house is ready. But
Are they constructing it? They're building it, so it's going to take them a
yes,
bit.
so they're gonna start in the summer, 1 month I think, and they're gonna, yeah, it's gonna take 1 year to get built, and then we have to build everything inside and set up everything inside, then we can move.
Housing construction everywhere. That's kind of, I guess, all over the world, apparently. There's all kinds of construction over here and new stuff going in over there. So a lot of people in the same boat. So awesome. Well, we got the Sunday Cup coming up this weekend, and then followed the following weekend will be GT3, GT4 at Bathurst. So everybody get practicing on that. Uh Come out for the Sunday Cup, if that's your cup of tea, no pun intended. And we'd be happy to have some people come out. And if you decide, Nismo, you'd like to join in the Sunday Cup, certainly come out and grab you a car and just go ask Besso. He'll tell you what to do. He'll give you a tune. Just drive his car.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you joining me, filling in for Junkai. Thank you for sharing your trip. I know everybody, that's a dream trip for a lot of people, especially us in the States, which is, to go to the other side of the world for that. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I know everybody's going to certainly enjoy seeing all these pictures and clips and everything else. So again, thank you. Thank all the rest of you for joining us on this episode of A Drink with a Driver, and we'll be back next time to discuss After Bathurst, which will no doubt probably have some surprises and some accidents going down the hill. So, see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.